thank you for braving the cold weather today to come out to our coaches' luncheon. That was a surprise from yesterday, but I guess it's like the repeat of last week, so we know what we're in for, right? So just a couple announcements. Have 2 athletes of the week. One of them we have present today and is going to talk to us, Cheyenne Bastion with volleyball. So this weekend in 6 games, she had 14 kills on 31 attacks. She is a chemical engineering major from Laramie, Wyoming. And we had Caleb Roth with football. He scored a touchdown and totaled 107 yards of offense. For the football team this weekend, he's a mechanical engineering student from Madera, Ranchos, California. And he played a spectacular game, tough kid. So just a couple things. We're going to do a trunk or treat this weekend at the Rams. And so we've invited kids to come out before the game and during halftime. So if you want to decorate your trunk and maybe have some treats for the kids, please do so. And then be careful as you drive in before the game because there might be little munchkins out trick-or-treating in the trunks. So just be aware that there might be some extra action out there. And this past weekend, we were in Golden, Colorado for the Colorado School of Mines game. So that's a big area for us as far as alumni go with the South Dakota School of Mines. And we had over 100 people attend the tailgate. Very good crowd between the alumni and the parents that were there. And it was a really, really perfect day for a football game as far as weather goes. So pleasant day. But I'll let Charlie talk about that just a little bit more. And then our next coaches luncheon will be in 2 weeks at the Christensen Hall of Fame at noon. Cubicle will be our sponsor. And with that being said, I will turn it over to Ryan in soccer. Thank you very much.
All right. Hello. So since the last time we saw, or we were meeting up in this luncheon, we played CSU Pueblo, who was 19th in the nation. Tough game for us. We came out really strong. They were a tough team. I mean, just a gritty team, refused to lose type of team. Went down early, 2-0, but really played the best first half of soccer that we played all season. Second half came out, we pushed numbers high, and they took advantage of that. And obviously, at the end of the day, the difference between losing 5-0 and 2-0 isn't very much. But with this team, we have to go out and try and win games. So we pushed numbers high. They got 3 late goals on us, and that was that. Turned around to that next Sunday, played UCCS, another really gritty team, physical team, like to get in your face, like to talk a lot. We played really well against them too. Unfortunately, there was about 5 seconds in the game where we fell asleep, and they scored a goal, and we ended up losing that game 1-0. Fast forward to this last Friday. Also down in Golden, Colorado against Colorado School of Mines. Top 25 team, always a really good opponent. Came out a little flat against them. Went down 2-0 in the first half. Came out, again, tried to high press everything and try and get goals back. And they put another 4 in on us. So towards the end of that game, we got a lot of young guys in, get them experience against a really good team, which was good for them. To see the field and get a decent amount of minutes that they probably wouldn't have otherwise. And then we go into Sunday against our rival, Colorado Christian, who got the best of us early in the year. Again, played a really good game. It came down to 5 seconds of us falling asleep, and they throw a ball in, hit a cross, and the guy scores a header, and then they just packed it in and played defense the whole time. And we were unable to break their defense and ended up losing that game heartbreakingly. This week, going to Grand Junction in Salt Lake City, longest trip of the year. So we're in for a nice drive, and unfortunately, Dave isn't here with his wife because she's trying to get us buses for this weekend. So we're looking forward to a good game against Colorado Mines. We know that they're a really good team. They've been solid for the last couple years, and they're a team that doesn't really underestimate teams. They go out and play the same way every time. So we have to go out there and play the best game of the year against them and try and pull out a huge upset. Sunday against Westminster, again another team that's really good. They've been kind of on the downside. So again, looking to have a good game against them, take advantage of them, and hopefully get a big away win. So with that being said, I did bring a soccer player for the first time this year, Garrett Cole. He'll come up and introduce himself.
I'm Garrett Cole. I'm a junior civil engineering major from Rapid City, South Dakota. And I'm just really proud to be part of this team. We've had a tough year this year, but we keep fighting a lot of heart with our group. And everybody's ready for the win, and we get a couple wins, we're right back in it. We can make the playoffs, so we're really excited for that. Really happy with all the support we get in the community too, and hope everybody sticks with us as we finish out the season. So thank you.
Any questions for myself or Garrett?
What do you want to do with your degree when you're done?
Well, I'd like to either work in the transportation field, so I'd work with the DOT and design highways and stuff like that, or go a more privateering route and be like a construction management side of things and do that.
In Rapid or
I'd like to stay home. I like the Black Hills and been here all my life, so I would stay here, but I'm not opposed to going to other places and experiencing new things. So.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
All right, well, the cross-country team went down to Fort Hays 2 weeks ago now, a week and a half, something like that. We were down there October 9th, had really good field there. We got to see 5 of the top 10 teams in the central region, so we're in the south central, this is the next region over. It's a really good region as well. Definitely one of the top 3 regions in the country. So really good matchups for us. On the women's side, we came out and we had some very straightforward goals for this year. One of the first goals that we needed to tick off was to get 5 women under the 20-minute mark for 5K. We can tick that one off finally, so that's a good step in the right direction. It's probably been 4 years since we've been able to do that, so that's a huge step for us. We're very excited about that. Had one of our freshmen in that mix as well, so that was a really good thing to see. Our pack time on the women's side was under 30 seconds, which is just ridiculous to have that kind of pack time. We just have to keep moving it forward. The nice thing on the women's side is that we're mostly being led by sophomores and juniors. So we have a whole nother year, maybe 2 of this, and we just have to try and use this to keep things rolling. On the men's side, it was every bit as tough as we expected it was going to be. Tim Dunham finished 29th overall in a really good field. It featured the Northwest Missouri was ranked 21st going in. They actually fell just a little bit because they got beat by Kearney. So Kearney's now ranked, in Missouri Western, I think, or Northwest Missouri, excuse me, fell to receiving votes. But still 2 very good teams. And then Emporia and Hayes were the 2 I told you about that were going to be kind of our target. And it was every bit as close as I thought it was going to be. And unfortunately, we fell right on the wrong side of it. We were a grand total of 12 points away from being both teams, which in cross-country terms, remember, one place is really a 2-point swing if you get that place head-to-head with the other team. So literally just needed to move everybody up a couple of spots, and it would have been there. But on the flip side of that, you could also say that that's the closest we've ever been to beating those 2 teams. So that bodes really well for us. In fact, Emporia beat one of our fellow RMAC teams a few weeks, the week before. As we go into RMAC, that's always a good thing to have under your belt. And Fort Hays, a couple weeks before that, beat another RMAC team. So that helps us, give us a little bit of confidence that that we're going the right direction as we go into the conference this weekend. So we're down in Golden this weekend. The weather is supposed to be about perfect, highs in the mid-60s, no wind, typical what you expect out there this time of year. The course is on a golf course. If anybody knows anything about Applewood Golf Course, please tell me, because I know nothing. They tell me it's flat with gently rolling hills, but every coach has a different idea of what gently rolling hills means. So we'll see. I fully expect it's going to be a fast course for us. Colorado Mines is the #1 team in the nation. They've been tied with Grand Valley off and on for that honor. Sometimes Colorado Mines has it outright. Sometimes they get to share it with them this year, but they're really, really good right now. They would be a top 25 team at Division I right now, I would bet. They're that strong. Then from there, you've got your Adams Western, UCCS, Colorado Christian is really good. All 5 of those teams are ranked right now in the top 25 in the country. So where we are realistically looking is in that 7 to 12 range. We've spent way too much time in the 10 to 12 range for my liking, so that's kind of been the challenge for the guys from day one, is to break into that top 10, and that would be a huge step forward for us. If we can break into the top 10, to give you an idea of how deep our conference is right now, we share our region with the Lone Star Conference. There's only one Lone Star team ranked in the top 10, and I think they were 9th. So if we can get in and mix it up with these guys a little bit, we'll be in really, really good shape on the men's side as we go into the region 2 weeks later. So should be a good matchup. I expect nothing but a fast race. Colorado Mines likes to lead from the front, and so they like to just jump out and try and pound it. There's not a lot of tactics left once one team decides to do that. You're just getting in there and trying to hang on. On the women's side, I think it'll be a little bit, there'll be really 2 races that unfold. You'll see a race between some of those top teams, and then you'll see everybody else. And I think with where we're at, the biggest thing for us is going to be, can we repeat that 30-second pack time? If we can repeat that 30-second pack time again, then we know that not only did we have a good day, but we were able to put things together in such a way that we're going to score well enough in the field overall. The women absolutely shocked me that they were 12th at Fort Hays. They did not have them pegged that high, and so that just shows the value of them working well together and being able to push that group. And it's been great in practice to watch them, because that pack is really coming together better and better every single day. They're running closer and closer together every day, which is fantastic to see. Questions? All right, thank you.
Hello, everybody. So volleyball is coming off of, we had a road trip this past weekend to Grand Junction, Salt Lake. Fun times. We had the opportunity to fly this weekend, which was a fun experience for our girls. We haven't really done that in a long time, so it was nice to do something different, bond a little bit, and kind of have that experience. We're coming off a weekend. We beat Westminster in 3, lost to Colorado Mesa in 3. Good news right now is we have played pretty much every nationally ranked team in the RMAC. So the games ahead of us, we not only have to win, but we should win. But being able to do something is different than doing it. So games ahead of us, we absolutely feel excited about. We really feel like we can play our best volleyball, win a lot of matches ahead of us. We are a little bit healthier than we have been, but still not so great. Currently, we have 10 on our inactive list out of 22, which is tough, but we're making it through. We actually added a member to our team a few weeks ago, and she's done a fantastic job to kind of step into those shoes, because we needed some depth when we were dealing with some injuries. But our women have been really strong through it all. They've been resilient. Those who have been able to be healthy and play have been giving us their best. We obviously are being very creative in the way we practice, the way we train, the way we compete, because we can't do things the way we normally have done and play a lot of volleyball. We got to be very limited in the way things we do, make a lot of tough choices in how we do things. So that's been fun, but we had yesterday off, watched a lot of film. Today we're giving them off as well, and we're going to get back to it on Wednesday, get back to it this weekend. On Thursday morning we head off to Durango, Colorado, but we're just going to go about 10 hours in instead of the full 14. We're going to stay the night, and then we played Fort Lewis on Friday night, and then we go to Gunnison and play Western Colorado on Saturday. So 2 matches we're really excited about. We really hope we come back 2-0. That's kind of what we're looking forward to. And then following that, week after that, we'll be home again. So ending this long away trip, and we'll be home and happy to do it. So the real reason you're all here, obviously, is I brought Cheyenne with me. Cheyenne was Hard Rocker Athlete of the Week, which is pretty exciting. I have a lot of things to say about Cheyenne, but I'll keep it short. Biggest thing is Cheyenne has been a 4-year starter for us. She's a senior. She has been a 3-year captain. She was voted captain spring of her freshman year, going into her sophomore year. So she's been essentially leading this team through all of its changes for the past 3 years. I did not recruit Cheyenne. I was hired the summer before her freshman year, so she had a lot of confidence in me. She was able to buy into me early, and we've had a lot of fun along the way in our journey, because Cheyenne really has been hand in hand with me through building this program more than anyone on this team. So it's kind of fun to watch her lead a different team every year and make this team better every year and do big things. Obviously Cheyenne is a fantastic athlete. She's been doing her best. She's been dealing with injuries herself. She's been limited in the things that she can do. We've had to put her on the hitting side a little bit, and we're getting to the point where now she's healthy enough to get back into both setting and hitting, because setting is truly her biggest strength, and it's what she's good at. She controls the floor. So we're excited about that, but she's a smart kid. She's a great leader. She is going to definitely impact the world one day, and I'll let her tell you about her future, because it's an exciting one. But yeah, hopefully you have lots of questions for her, because she's fun to hear from. Okay. So this is Cheyenne.
What an introduction. All right. So yeah, like she said, I'm Cheyenne Bastian. I'm from Laramie, Wyoming. I'm a senior setter / right side, I guess. I am studying chemical engineering, almost done. But yeah, I think my last 4 years here, this isn't my first luncheon, but my last 4 years here have been absolutely spectacular. I didn't know, I knew coming in it was going to be a gritty fight to change this program, and I couldn't be more thankful for the experience that it really was. Obviously still going, so I am super excited to play this weekend, finish out the rest of the season, and we will be at that RMAC tournament. So,
Thanks.
Anyone have any questions?
What do you plan on doing with your career?
Yeah, so I actually just accepted an offer from Abbott. I will be working, they're like a medical product company up in Minnesota, and I'll be working manufacturing for my first year. Hopefully I'll get more into the business excellence side after a couple years, but it's kind of the end goal. So.
You're from Laramie,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and your name's Cheyenne?
Yeah, I know. Super excited. Yeah.
But it's not spelled like Cheyenne.
I know.
Got a little twist on it.
I'm sorry to bring that up, it's just too obvious.
Everyone, I know. It's funny because I was actually born in Cheyenne, but I don't know why they had to switch up the spelling, but it's okay. Thank you to my parents.
Any other questions? I'd like you to tell the group here just a little bit about your leadership organization you started.
Okay, yeah, so it's called the WHO, Women's Hard Rocker Organization. We've had our first event back in August. We're going to have one at the end of this month. And what it is it's basically an organization that focuses on female athletes on campus. So we're going to do leadership development and development in your relationships. I talked to an alumni, Leah Novicki-Clapper, sorry, actual last name, yeah. Sorry, I just know the one because she's an alumni and she's in her locker room as Leah Novicki, so I do love her. Maria knows her especially well, obviously, but she kind of told me about her experience here and how she made relationships outside of just her team. And I thought about it genuinely, and one of my best friends is on the basketball team, but I didn't feel like a lot of my teammates were kind of experiencing that same thing. So the point of this organization is to allow female athletes to meet people outside of just their team and bond with those people, and then also focus on leadership development, because in the industry we want strong women in STEM. So I think that's kind of a big focus for us. Like, our coming up event is about leading from heart instead of from fear, and so we're gonna dive into that and then watch a movie, a Halloween movie. So kind of the fun side of things, but also like learning. So, yeah.
Any other questions? Awesome. Well, oh, you got one?
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, I have an older sister. She actually has 2 kids, so I have 2 nephews. They're awesome. But she lives in San Diego. Her husband's in the Marines, so miss them all the time. But they're actually coming for my senior night, so I'm really looking forward to that. But yep, only one sister. Love her to death.
And her parents travel to
Every single game.
match.
Yeah. Yeah. My
sister's name, Laramie?
That would be funny.
her name's Sage. Yeah, no, that would be funny.
All right. Well, we'll be home next weekend. We look forward to seeing you guys there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It is afternoon, so I'm gonna say good afternoon. It's finally noon. Good to see everybody again. 2 weeks ago, we were home for Fort Lewis. Appreciate everybody's support and kind of battling through the adverse conditions. We started off the game and it was raining and pouring. Finished the game and it was raining and pouring. So again, very proud of our kids and how they battled through the course of that game because of the adverse conditions. You know, our kids did exactly what they needed to do, come out in the second half and really finish that football game against Fort Lewis. We had an hour and 20-minute rain delay. Again, I really appreciate the people that stayed in the ramps and were honking their horns after that long delay. I think we had 3 people in the stands, then they were students, which was great to see. But again, you know, the support has been very good for us. I've been very happy with it. Our kids came back out after that hour and 24-minute rain delay and went out and stopped them on defense, and then we put together a 93-yard drive to kind of finish out the game. So, you know, anytime you're sitting around for an hour and a half in a locker room in a small confined area, we tried to keep it as loose as we possibly could. You know, the guys were playing music, they were playing a ball game in there, and that's what it's all about. You know, going back to the stories that they were talking about with the flights and the overnight trips and stuff. Those are the things that the kids are going to remember, and you know, they'll remember the score, beating Fort Lewis, but I think ultimately they'll remember the interaction, really our second halftime that we had during the course of that game. This past weekend we were down at Colorado Mines. You know, obviously the outcome we didn't want as a football team, but you know, there's a lot of things that we are going to learn from and grow from that football game. We started out that game probably better than we've started a lot of other games against a high quality opponent. I mean, with 11 minutes to go in the second quarter, it was a 4-point ball game. And then from about the 11-minute mark till about the 4-minute mark, we had some things that we need to learn from on each side of the ball as well as special teams, and we actually went through every single one of those plays yesterday as a football team and just kind of talked about, all right, this situation, if we do this situation, we do this, we're right back into that game. After halftime, we made adjustments on each side of the ball as well as special teams, and you know, end up kind of, you know, moral victory, winning the second half. It was a 14-13 football game. So again, anytime you're going against a top 5 opponent or a nationally ranked team, it all comes down to execution. And you know, I think our kids understand that. We've just got to go out and ultimately make more plays when we have those situations, and they were able to do that. And you know, in the second quarter, they did it, we didn't, and then in the second half, our kids came back and really responded. So, you know, very proud of our kids. They're battling. We have another tough opponent this weekend with Western. They come in here as the 24th ranked team in the country. They went to overtime 2 weeks ago against Colorado Mines. It's their last road trip, and then they finish with 3 home games. So, you know, we know that this is a big one for us, go gaining momentum for the rest of the season. You know, we feel we're in a really good spot. We're 4-3 right now with 4 games left. We have 2 at home and 2 on the road, and you know, we're going to do everything that we can, obviously, to come out with a big win. You know, we talked about it yesterday as a seniors, we're always trying to figure out ways to what they can do to leave their legacy. When you graduate from here on the football side of things, what are you going to do that's going to make you leave your legacy? And this would be one of them. We have an opportunity to knock off a top 25 team at home, which is something that these guys haven't done yet. So, they're really focused in on that, and just really worrying about the details. Just those little things during the course of the game that we can continue to improve with. During the course of the game and as well as the preparation leading up to that point. So with that being said, I'm going to bring up another Rapid City guy. Come on up, Ira. Ira Murphy is a senior tight end for us from Rapid City Central. Is a team captain for us as well, working on his master's degree, and been very proud of him and his leadership that he's done for us. So I'm going to let Ira talk a little bit more about him and our program. Go ahead.
Hi everybody, I'm Ira. I graduated with a civil engineering degree last spring, and I'm currently working on my construction engineering management degree. That's kind of interesting because you go from learning how to be an engineer to learning how to be a manager, so it goes from a lot of math to a lot of writing. But like Coach said, I think one thing that I was really proud with our team, from just the difference between Adams State and Fort Lewis to playing the number 5 team in the nation. I feel like personally our offense came out with a lot more energy, and we were a lot more prepared to play in the Colorado Mines game. And I feel like looking at film, watching our offense against a better defense, we looked much better on offense, and we moved the ball much better than we did against not as good teams. So, I'm really looking forward to the end of the season and seeing how we progress and how we build off of this. It's going to be exciting. Got another big team coming at us, so it should be a lot of fun.
Any other questions for Ira or myself? So are you looking at me?
Ira's a tight end. Blocking, of course, is a key part of your game in that role, but you also can catch the ball. You've got good receiving ability. You get as excited about catching the ball than you do as making a good block, or
catching the ball is always exciting because you get to be like part of the game, but it's a lot of fun to put your face into somebody and put them on the ground in front of you. There's nothing like that.
You can legally do that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes, you can legally do that much,
And there's you can, I guess, talking smack, you can talk a little bit saying like, oh yeah, I caught a ball, but if you physically beat the guy up in front of you, then you kind of got that.
good answer.
You thought about what you want to do when you graduate?
Right now I'm working at a company in Rapid, Ferber Engineering. I don't know if I'm going to work with them yet full-time after I graduate, but I know that they're kind of a smaller company. They only have 17 people in the company, and I know that that's something that I want to be able to do, is just be able to do everything as part of the civil engineering side.
Oh, I was just going to say, you're from Rapid, talk to us a little bit about your high school career and how the teams that you played and that type of thing differ from what we're doing nowadays with the Rockers.
So my high school career wasn't the greatest, I guess. I went to Central High School. In my total career, we won 4 games, I believe. And so coming to School Mines and being able to be part of a winning culture has really kind of changed my perspective as both like a leader and a player on the field. It's a lot of fun being able to win games and expecting to win. And in high school when we face like in South Dakota, you play Sioux Falls teams, and it's like, oh no, we're gonna go play them. Like there's no way we can beat them. And we kind of started to change that culture in high school, but now I think like with what we did and played the number 5 team in the nation, I feel like when we were coming into that game, we truly thought we were going to be able to win and be able to come out on top. Anything else?
Just following up, is that different than maybe when you were a freshman? Did you maybe not have that mentality? Has that kind of been a culture that's been built into the program?
Yes, that is, especially with Coach Ford, that is definitely a culture that we have tried to push as leaders on the team and as seniors on the team. But it did help as a freshman having good leadership kind of show us how to fight for every game going through.
When you came into the program then, when you looked up at some of the upperclassmen, was there any particular individuals that you kind of looked at and thought, you know, I want to kind of be like they are?
Yeah, actually, Robert Schrock. I'm not sure if you
Yeah.
guys remember him, but he played center for us. I mean, he's just a big dude and really strong and really physical, and the way that he played football and the way that he loved playing for his team and protecting the guys around him was just something that I really wanted to, that I really learned from and watched, I guess.
I think that guy over there had a question for you.
When are you gonna get your hair cut?
Next question. For those of you who don't know, that's my dad.
Again, very supportive family. They make all of our road games as well, so we appreciate you and your family for making all of our games. Anybody else have any other questions?
What are you dealing with in injuries, Coach?
You know, so right now we've got one offensive lineman that's done for the year, and then we've got 2 running backs. One for sure is done for the year, and then hopefully we get Ahmad back this week. But you know, just kind of reiterate what Maria talked about. Been very happy with really our 3rd and 4th string guys. You know, they've stepped up the last 2.5 weeks and been big time contributors for us. You know, Caleb Roth and then Brandon Barrios, who's a true freshman from Arizona. Those 2 kids have really came in and got some considerable minutes for us and got some big key plays for us. So we're hoping to get Orlando back this week to just kind of give us a little bit more depth within the running back position. Again, look forward to seeing everybody this Saturday at noon. We've got 2 home games left. So again, if you could come out and support our guys, I'd really appreciate it. And then the last thing I want to say too, and again, just kind of reiterate the family atmosphere. I'd like to thank Ryan for bringing the soccer team out to our football game. They were in between days, so Ryan brought his soccer team out and they were in the stand supporting us on. So we really appreciate you doing that and cheering our guys on. So look forward to seeing everybody Saturday at noon. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thought I'd just pop up here and give you a little bit of an update. Dr. Rankin and I are going on Thursday evening to make a presentation to the Vision Committee about our stadium renovation. For those of you that don't know, we put in a $5.75 million application for Vision funds so that we could give O'Hara a little bit of a facelift, make it a little more ADA compliant, make our sky boxes, press boxes a little more aesthetically pleasing and better to view the stadium. We also need to add a female locker room down at the stadium so that we eventually don't get a Title IX complaint. And it also, you know, obviously is going to benefit our track and field programs by doing that. We'll probably, if all things go correctly, take the concession stand out right behind the ticket booth so you can walk in and get better accessibility, which then will move the concessions out. Also, another part of that is having an actual physical examination room or a physician's room. The only one that we have in the stadium right now is in the football locker room, so that kind of hampers us a little bit, especially when we have all of our equipment and things in there. Anyone who uses it can't go in and use it, obviously. And with that, I just pop up here, and anybody have any questions for me, any thoughts, I appreciate everybody showing up as always, and hopefully everybody will be here this weekend and for the rest of the fall. And basketball started practicing. They've been hitting it hard in the gym, men's and women's, and before you know it, we'll have what, volleyball, basketball, football going on at the same time for a couple weeks. So Josh and Brad and everyone will earn their money.
What's the timeline on your application for Vision funds? What's their timeline, or do you know what kind of timeline?
Yeah, a little bit in the dark yet. I know this week they're doing the presentations. I don't know exactly how many. I know that there's somewhere between 60 and 90 million dollars worth of applications for roughly 24 to maybe 30 million dollars worth of funds. So somebody's going to get left out, we're just looking forward to making the presentation, because whether we like to admit it or not, we do need to keep up with the Joneses a little bit. And if we want to keep the state track meet coming over here every third year, we need to put some makeup on our little pinky down there, so to speak.
Where do you go for that? Where do you go?
Where do I go? I believe it's down at City Hall in their where City Council meets. Yep. We've sent the slides in. I'll practice tonight, make sure I'm right at the 10-minute mark, so there's 10 minutes worth of question and answer session. Dr. Rankin will be there. He'll do a quick introduction, and then I'll go through the slides and explain why we think we're a viable candidate for the funds.
Are the high schools supporting this?
Yes, they are. Jared, we've been working with them throughout the whole process. We've actually also been working with the state association. What we have on the current application doesn't address all the concerns that the state of South Dakota has. So we'll need to address those down the road too. But yeah, actually, when we first started talking about this, maybe 18 to 24 months ago, I can safely say that Jared Vasquez was the first donor for it. He pulled the dollar bill out of his pocket and gave it to me. He goes, well, I'll start the kitty. So it's taped up on the wall in my office. But yeah, yes, they are. Dr. Simonson's in support of it. The ADs are in support of it. If you're paying attention to the press releases, it's the front of the stadium. We've designed it so on Friday night when Central plays, the color scheme, the lighting, you'll be able to see Central Cobblers on the front. And when Stevens plays, it'll say Stevens Raiders, and when we play, it'll say Hard Rockers. So it's not going to be a South Dakota School of Mines Hard Rocker football facade. It's going to be community based. All right, thank you. Despite the weather, it'll change here in a couple days. Today and every day is always a great day to be a Hard Rocker. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much.